Hi, friends. It's Joy with In Search of Joy Wellness. Thank you for joining me this week for our final session to unlock the energy in our 7 major chakras. This week, we're going to be focusing on the third eye chakra. And I did a short sequence, or I put together, I should say, a short sequence that's going to be about a half an hour long. So I hope you enjoy it. And without any ado, any further whatever stallings, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and sit on a block. I can never say that word correctly. Make sure that your sit bones are planted into the block or the mat. Shoulders slightly up and back. Make sure you're not overextending and emphasizing the C curve of your back. Just make sure that it's at a natural. If you really plant your sit bones into the block or the mat, that really helps you to get to not allow that overextension of the low back. Shoulders slightly up and back. Crown of the head reaching to the sky. Hands, palms up. Hands on the knees. And let's go ahead and take our beautiful slow count breath. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 2. And exhale for 6. So I'll go ahead and count out the first 2 for you, and from there we'll go ahead and breathe on our own. So let's go ahead and start by exhaling all the air out of your lungs. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I was just counting in my head. Now we'll go ahead and count in our head. Let's go ahead and do this for 3 more counts. Really feel the oxygen expanding the lungs 360 degrees. Really feeling the air going all the way down to your tummy. And on your exhale, imagine that everything that is no longer needed, any negative energies, are all coming out with that exhalation of your breath. Let's go ahead and return to a normal breath. Flutter our eyes open. Let's remove whatever we are seated on. And let's come into a child's pose. Let's go ahead and come into a restorative child's pose where our arms are alongside our legs, hands are touching our feet. This feels so good. The pressure on the forehead seems to be, I don't know, it feels like it's a nice balanced weight and a nice pressure on my sinuses. Your next inhale, let's go ahead and plant our hands. And we'll come to seated. And then we'll move into our tabletop, where we're going to do our balancing table. Did this in last video, guys, remember? I think we've done it in the past couple of videos because I remember falling over in one of them. So on an inhale, let's go ahead and reach that right arm out. Oh, before I give that cue, make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists. Hands are extended, fingers are long. You're really pressing your fingers into the mat. Toes are tucked and your hips are over your knees. Now we're going to extend the right arm in front of us, reaching out to that imaginary friend. And on your next inhale, straighten out and reaching out with your left leg as if somebody was pulling on your toes. So somebody's pulling on your toes and somebody's pulling on your fingers, keeping the hips square or in line. On an exhale, we're going to bring it all in, touching the knee and the elbow, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhale, extend it all out. Exhale. Inhale, extend it out. Exhale, bring it all in. Inhale. And on your next exhale, drop your hand and knee back to the mat. And we will switch and do the other side. So inhale, reaching the left arm out in front of you. Now someone's pulling on your fingers, stretching long. On your next inhale, reaching the right leg back behind you. As if somebody was pulling on your toes, keeping your hips in line with each other. And on an exhale, pushing the ground away, bringing everything in. Inhale, reaching back out. Exhale, bringing everything back in. Inhale, reaching out, tightening those glutes, tightening the tummy muscles. Exhale. Inhale, reaching out. And on your next exhale, planting the hand and the knee back to the mat. Taking a nice breath. Now we're going to do our cat and cow. Make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists and your hips are over your knees. Tucking the toes. On an inhale, let's go ahead and start to move our tailbone towards the sky. As we move our tailbone towards the sky, our tummy is going to move down towards the ground as our chest moves down and slightly towards the sky. As the shoulders, you roll them back and down. Throat opens. Excuse me, I'm losing what body parts we're doing here. On exhale, let's go ahead and start to tuck at the tailbone. Rounding the spine one vertebra at a time, pushing the ground away, tucking the chin to the chest. And on an inhale, starting with the tailbone, rounding the tailbone back up to the sky, dropping the tummy and the chest to the mat in a sense. As you push the ground away, shoulders are drawn up and back. As the throat open, the gaze is up. Now let's go ahead and do this a couple more times on our own breath. starting at the tailbone and moving one vertebra at a time. Let's go ahead and come to neutral. And I'm going to take a pause here. From here, let's go ahead and move into child's pose, untucking the toes and keeping that arms extended long out in front of you, and really walking your fingers away, creating some length. I really like child today. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring the body up into table. And we're going to tuck our toes. Actually, no, we're not going to tuck our toes. Just kidding. We're going to come to seated and we're going to do a Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana is a really nice hip opening pose. And you can bring your feet in towards your torso and bring your knees all the way down to the mat. Or if you're not quite there, you can bring your feet out. Just try to keep your legs open naturally and the bottoms of your feet touching. Okay? So here, go ahead and grab our ankles. Now, as we are grabbing our ankles, the motion that we're looking for, the energy that we're looking for, is we're trying to reach the knees to the mat, to really create that opening. While we're doing that, we're going to be pulling back as we lengthen our spine, as we pull our chest through. So on an inhale, we're going to pull our chest through, and we're going to start to bend the torso forward, folding at the hips. As you come to your edge, we're going to exhale, and you're going to start to round the body. We're going to do a cat and cow in Baddha Konasana. Start to round the body, tucking the chin to the chest, rolling the spine back up to seated. And then on your inhale, we'll go forward again and do it one more time. So we'll do cat and cow like this, slowly, with our own breath. Inhale. Pushing away down in the spine. And exhale. As you come up, it's an inhale. All right, let's go ahead and come to seated. Ooh, and find some stillness in our Baddha Konasana. On your next inhale, go ahead and flutter your eyes open, crossing the ankles, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, tucking the toes on inhale, and exhale, sending the hips up and back. Ouch, excuse me. Sorry guys. I felt a little bit of a twinge in my knee. So really settling into your dog, pedaling your feet and your legs, pedaling your feet and your legs. I guess they are connected, so that would just be a thing. Picking up your hands, feeling it, moving your You can even move your hips, heels to one side or the other. Getting some nice long stretches. I got stuff on my mat. And then we're going to find some stillness in our dog. I'm going to move up a little bit. There we go. Really, your energy in your sit bones are going up to the sky and also down. You give your trunk and your trees a lot of strength. There's a lot going on in this pose. Pushing the ground away with your hands. All right, so on your next inhale, let's go ahead and step or jump to the top of the mat. And we're going to forward fold. Inhale. Halfway lift. Slight cobra in the back. Fold. Inhale, press so much with the heels into the mat. Slight bend in the knees. As we come to standing, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. Hands meeting above the head. Gaze meets the thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center, tightening the tummy muscles as we forward fold. Then we're going to come back into downward facing dog for a moment, dropping our knees, and we're going to come back into a cat and cow. So from here, let's move into cow, sending the hip bones up to the sky as the tummy reaches down to the mat. Shoulders, what is this? The heart is reaching through the shoulders, gazes up. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, one vertebra at a time, reaching or pushing the ground away, tucking the chin to the chest. All right, then we're going to do a little bit of a different move. So from here, we're going to move into child. And from child, we're going to plant our forearms into the mat. And on an inhale, you're going to stay with your nose close to the mat, down to the ground like this. On an inhale, we're going to push through to low cobra. And on an exhale, we're going to move into downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your tippy toes as we wave the body forward into plank, shoulders over the wrists. Your feet are reaching back towards the imaginary wall behind you. Crown of the head reaching forward. And the cues are being difficult today. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. On your next exhale, bending the knees, sending the hips up and back. Come to a downward facing dog. From here, we'll move, drop our knees to the mat, and come into child. From here, we're going to do a different little pose. It's going to be an upward, it's called upward floating dog. It's not really an upward cobra because we're going to tuck the toes. So on an inhale, we're going to tuck our toes. And as we tuck our toes, we're going to start to straighten our legs. And as we straighten our legs, we are going to go into, we're going to push the torso forward, keeping the arms lengthened straight, tightening the tummy muscle so you don't hurt your lower back. Maybe you want to check me out doing it first before you try it on your own. So inhale, straightening out the legs as we push the torso down towards the mat. Torso stays straight, gazes forward, tightening tummy muscles, pushing those heels to the imaginary wall behind you. On your next exhale, bending the knees, sending the hips up and back, downward facing dog, and we were going to do our flow. So you can step or jump to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pressing so much into the mat. We come to standing, one vertebra at a time. Hands meet above the head as the gaze follows. Exhale, hands to heart center, forward fold. Planting the hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. From here we move into our cat and cow, but our cow and cat, we're going to do it backwards. Cow. Sit bones up to the sky, chest through as the gaze up. Exhale, tucking the tailbone in, pushing the ground away, rounding the spine, rounding the shoulders, tuck the chin to the chest. And inhale. We are going to go back into child. I should say that was on the exhale, we'll go back into child. Planting the forearms to the ground. Inhale as we roll through into low cobra, keeping the gaze low. Exhale. Downward facing dog, tucking the toes. On your next inhale, we're going to drop the knees. Let's go ahead and come to seated on our heels. We're going to bring it down now to the mat, and we are going to do something called a locust pose. So however you want to get to your tummy, let's go ahead and move into our tummy. From here, place your arms long alongside your body behind you. On an inhale, we're going to raise the upper torso, raising the arms as if we were reaching back behind us. There was something that we needed to reach back behind us. And hold this pose. If you'd like to raise your legs, pressing your pubic bone into the mat, you can lift your legs off the mat. Breathe here. On your next exhale, go ahead and drop your right cheek to the mat and relax. Inhale, start to lift the torso up again, tightening the tummy muscles. Gaze is forward, reaching the arms back, pressing the pubic bone into the mat and lifting the legs. Relax. Left cheek to the mat. We're going to do this one more time on each side. Inhale, torso up, reaching back, tightening the tummy muscles. Inhale, pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Exhale, come down to the mat. That's my Romeo. Inhale, lifting the torso, pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Gaze is forward. And down to the left side. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and plant the hands, bringing the torso up, and we'll come back into child's pose. This feels really nice and relaxing. From here, we're going to move up. Romeo, please. We're going to move to our backs. I have a pet rooster and a pet chicken. And my rooster is a stray rooster I found on a bike ride. He's crazy. I love him. He's so beautiful. Anyway, so I have a pet rooster. And he's in the house because it's windy outside and they didn't want to be outside. So, let's go ahead and move to our backs. Try to clip my hair so that it doesn't hurt when I put my head down. Okay, from here we're going to do a figure four. Straighten out your legs. Bring your arms in a T. We're going to bend the right leg. Knee is up to the sky. Foot is flat on the mat. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a twist. Excuse me. On an exhale, we're going to... How are we going to do this? Let's see. I want to tell you the right way. You're going to twist the bottom. You're going to leave your shoulders flat on the mat. So leave your shoulders flat on the mat and twist over to the left. Go as far as you can go. Bring in your head or your gaze over to the right. I'm going to take these clips off. It's not going to work. Okay. Bring in your gaze over to the right. Now you want to make sure that you keep your shoulders at least on the mat because we're only going to twist this portion of our body, the lower portion of our torso. You can use your left hand to assist the twist and try to bring your knee closer to the mat. And just breathe. If it starts to hurt or pinch, come out a little bit. We're not trying to force ourselves. On your next inhale, come back to center. And we'll switch and do the other side. Now let's see if I can do this with all these clips. I thought I got this to work. Bending the left knee. Teeing the arms. On an inhale, dropping the left knee to the right side, keeping the shoulders glued to the mat. Gaze is over to the left. Oh, that feels really good in my neck. Been dealing with a lot of stress. This past week, my baby, sweet 17-year-old kitty, was in the hospital. He's doing a lot better though, but I can feel the stress in my neck and the worry. Inhale, come back to center. I always use my opposite hand to help roll back into neutral just because my low back has opportunity to get stronger. All right, guys, I think from here we're going to do a rolling bridge. So keeping your knees bent up to the sky, feet flat on the ground. Okay. I want to make sure that I keep my chest open. Sometimes I crunch my neck in. We don't want to. We want to keep our neck nice and long the back of the head flat on the mat. From here, you want to make sure that you can almost touch or graze your fingertips towards the heels of your feet. Now, on inhale, we're going to push so much into the ground that our heels are going to actually lift the torso up. And it's going to lift us up so much, we're going to come up to our shoulders. So on an inhale, lifting the torso up, coming up to the shoulders. Exhale, bringing one vertebra at a time down until the low back hits, or it comes to the mat, not hits the mat. We want to do this slowly. Making sure that we don't splay our knees open. We don't want to cause any damage to the low back. So inhale, lifting, keeping the knees glued together, pushing the ground away as the torso lifts towards the sky. Exhale. Bringing one vertebra back down. I love that pose. It feels so good. It just articulates the spine really nicely. Inhale. Exhale. Give myself a choke here. Either my necklace. It's my necklace. All right. Now from here, let's go ahead and stretch our legs out into Shavasana. Letting the legs fall naturally open. Hands, same thing, naturally open. Palms facing the sky. Thanking yourself for showing up this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you're at. Feeling your thoughts. Where are they at? Feeling your body on the mat. On an inhale, let's go ahead and start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Keeping your eyes heavy. Let's go ahead and bring our knees up and roll over to one side or the other. Keeping that fetal position for a moment. Using that top hand to assist you as you push into the mat. We come to seated. Let's see here. Thank you guys for joining me for this session of our third eye chakra energy. That was a really nice, soothing session. I apologize for the miscues. I was getting confused. But I really appreciate you guys starting this journey with me, my new journey down this path. I think next week I'm going to bring some nutrition videos along. I wanted to seal up this session before I peppered in other videos. And I'm also going to bring some yoga sessions for just like short sessions to work on the neck and the shoulders because I'm pretty tight here. So I was thinking that there are some people out there that are kind of tight in the neck and shoulders too, and would like to join me for that. But until then, guys, I really appreciate you joining me. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let me know if there's any stretches that you want, maybe like lower body stretches or low back stretches and strengtheners. Let me know. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Take care.